The floorboard in my old room used to hide childhood secrets, notes, candy, scraps of dreams. This time, it hid nothing. Just air where an envelope should have been. $15,950 gone. The money I'd saved for my sister's tuition had vanished. I sat there, dust on my hands, heartbeat steady, not a single tear. Outside my door came the sound of heels and rustling shopping bags. She was humming. She thought I'd break down, fall apart, maybe beg her to explain. Instead, I set the board back, stood up slowly, and smiled. She had no idea what was coming next. The Wilson house always looked calm from the outside. Fresh white paint, trimmed hedges, the kind of place that smelled like laundry soap and Sunday dinners. Inside, calm was an act. My parents built our lives on work and structure, Dad running production lines, Mom grading papers at the kitchen table until midnight. We weren't rich, just steady. Steady enough that I learned to earn what I wanted while my sister learned she could ask for it. Tiffany was born 4 years after me, the miracle baby who arrived when Dad got promoted and Mom finally had summers off. From day one, she sparkled. Dimples, blue eyes, that voice that could turn please into a command. Everyone adored her. Teachers, neighbors, even the mailman remembered her birthday. When I tried to say no, I was the serious one. When she cried, the world rearranged itself to make her happy. By high school, our differences had become rules. I worked part-time at the grocery store stacking cans after school. Tiffany joined cheerleading and came home with ribbons. When I asked for a used laptop, Dad told me to save up. When she wanted a new phone, it appeared before the weekend. It wasn't jealousy, not really. It was gravity. Everything in our house orbited around Tiffany. Years later, when Dad's company downsized and Mom picked up tutoring to cover bills, I thought maybe things would balance out. They didn't. Tiffany's tuition came due right as money ran thin. I remember Mom whispering late at night, "We'll make it work. We always do." But we meant me. I'd just landed a solid job in Boston Tech. Long hours, good pay, no time for anything else. When Dad called about tuition, I didn't hesitate. "I'll cover it," I said, even though it meant draining part of my savings. $15,950, a concrete number that represented every side project, every skipped vacation, every time I told myself, "You're fine, you don't need much." I kept the cash close, literally inside my old room, beneath the same floorboard that once hid childhood treasures. It felt symbolic somehow. Money meant to secure her future, resting where I once kept my own. The day I tucked that envelope under the wood, Tiffany hugged me tighter than she had in years. "You're the best," she said. I believed her. For a while, everything felt normal, family dinners, laughter, her promises to do better. But normal was an illusion, and illusions always crack under pressure. 3 days before Tiffany's tuition payment was due, I left for a short work trip to Seattle. Just a routine conference back Sunday night. Before I left, I reminded her, "We'll go to campus Monday, pay it together." She nodded, smiling through a mouthful of coffee. "Don't worry, I've got everything ready." When I came home, the house felt off, too quiet, too clean. Mom and Dad were already asleep, but faint perfume lingered down the hall, expensive and unfamiliar. I brushed it off. The next morning, sunlight sliced through the blinds as I knelt by that old floorboard. My hand reached for the envelope. Too light. I opened it and froze. Empty. For a moment, the world went still. Just the hum of the fridge, the drip of the faucet. I checked everywhere, drawers, desk closet. Nothing. No sign of a break-in. My laptop, jewelry, even an old watch sat untouched. But the money, $15,950 in cash, was gone. Logic kicked in sharp and cold. Who had access? Only family. My parents would never. That left one name. Still, I needed proof. I headed for the bathroom to clear my head, but something in the trash caught my eye. Crumpled receipts. Nordstrom, Saks, Neiman Marcus. The totals blurred together, $895, $612, $347. Designer shopping sprees, dated the same 3 days I was away. I stared at them for a long time, pulse steady, jaw locked. Then I pulled out my phone, opened Instagram. Tiffany had blocked me years ago, but she'd forgotten about the second account I used to check on her when she first left for college. Her latest posts hit like a punch. A photo of shopping bags spread across her bed, a caption treating my girls to the best weekend ever. Another clip, her laughing in a restaurant, flashing a brand new gold watch, the kind that costs more than rent. That's when my phone buzzed. A text from Jackson. My old roommate dude saw your sister at Morello last night. Girl was spending like crazy. Did she hit the lottery? I stared at the message until the anger started to settle into something else. Clarity. I found a folded slip still inside the envelope, half stuck in the corner, a bank deposit receipt for $1,000. Her name, her signature. She'd stolen from me again, not just money, but trust. And yet, instead of exploding, I felt calm. The kind of calm that means a decision's already been made. I knew she'd walk in soon, expecting the same old pattern, me discovering her crying, me fixing it. But not this time. This time, the silence would be my weapon. The front door slammed just after 2. Keys clattered into the ceramic bowl by the entryway. Then came the sound I'd been waiting for, shopping bags brushing against each other, the rhythm of someone who thought they'd gotten away with it. Tiffany appeared in the kitchen doorway, cheeks flushed, hair glossy, dressed like she'd walked out of a boutique ad. 4 designer bags dangled from her wrists. The gold watch on her arm glinted under the afternoon light. "Oh, hey," she stammered. "Thought you were still in Seattle." "Wrapped up early," I said, voice even. "Productive trip. Cool." Her laugh was nervous thin. "How was the weather?" "Surprisingly nice," I replied, closing my laptop slowly. "Looks like you've been busy too." She glanced down at the bags and tried to smile. "End of season sales. You know, bargains." "Right," I said softly. "Some impressive bargains." I picked up one of the receipts I'd kept, smoothing it on the table. I didn't know Gucci did 70% off. Her face went pale. "You went through my stuff? Bathroom trash," I corrected. "Shared space." She dropped the bags on the floor, hands trembling just slightly. "Okay, so I took a little. I was going to pay you back. You make good money, Sarah. It's not like you'll miss it." "A little?" I tilted my head. The envelope was empty. Her voice rose. "You're overreacting. I just wanted to feel normal for once. Everyone at school has nice things. I'm tired of being the poor one." "You weren't poor," I said quietly. "You were helped. There's a difference." Her eyes shimmered with tears, real or rehearsed, I couldn't tell. "Please don't tell Mom and Dad. They'll kill me. I'll return everything, I swear. Just give me time." I let the silence stretch. No yelling, no threats, just the weight of what she'd done hanging between us. "Tiffany," I finally said, "Monday is the tuition deadline. Dad's expecting confirmation that the payment went through." She blinked. You're not paying it again, no." Her voice cracked. "You can't be serious." "For once, I said I am." The room went still. Then she burst into a mix of pleading and anger, every emotion she'd ever used to manipulate her way out of trouble. I just stood there, watching it burn out. When she finally ran out of words, she looked small. "You always fix everything," she whispered. "Not anymore." I turned away, letting her tears fall behind me. In the quiet that followed, something inside me shifted. Not satisfaction, not yet, but resolve. This wasn't revenge. This was the first real boundary I'd ever drawn, and the first one she'd ever have to face. Sunday morning felt too calm for what was coming. The house smelled like coffee and eggs, sunlight cutting across the kitchen tile. Dad scrolled his tablet, Mom hummed softly, and Tiffany sat across from me, quiet, pretending everything was fine. "Big day tomorrow," Dad said. "We'll go to campus and pay tuition." "Right," she murmured, eyes down. Then the landline rang. Mom handed it to Dad, smiling until his face changed. "Overdue. Since Friday." His tone hardened. "No, my daughter, my son. They said Monday." A pause. "A late fee. Withdrawal if not paid today." He hung up slowly. The air thickened. "What happened to the $15,950 for your tuition?" Tiffany froze. Why are they saying?" Dad's voice cut sharp. "Answer me." Her eyes darted to me, pleading. I didn't move. "The money's gone," I said. Mom blinked. "Gone? What do you mean I left it in my room before Seattle? When I checked yesterday, empty." Dad turned to Tiffany. "Tell me it wasn't you." She hesitated, voice breaking. "I borrowed some. I was going to put it back." "How much is some?" She swallowed. All of it. Silence slammed down. Mom sat hands trembling. Dad leaned forward. You stole tuition money your sister saved for you and spent it. I didn't mean to, I just wanted to feel normal. Everyone has things, not at the cost of your family. Mom whispered. I slid the receipts across the table, designer stores, expensive dinners, all dated while I was gone. You didn't just spend, you flaunted it. Tiffany's voice shook. I was ashamed. I hate being the one who never fits in. Dad's anger cracked into disappointment. You don't fix insecurity with theft. She broke down sobbing. Please don't tell them. Don't call the school. I'll fix it. I stood. Then start. Call them. Her head jerked up. Now. Her hand trembled as she dialed. Hi, this is Tiffany Wilson. I can't make my tuition payment. Yes, I understand. Her tears fell fast. I'll withdraw this term. When she hung up, she whispered, They said I'll be removed from classes if it's not paid by the end of day. Dad nodded. Then that's what happens. You'll work and pay it back. She gasped. You're really going to let me fail? Yes, I said. Because saving you hasn't helped. For a long time, she just cried. Then Dad said quietly, Everything you bought, return it. What you can't sell. I will, she whispered. Say it, I said, not I will. Say what you did. Tiffany lifted her head. I stole from you. I lied. I'm sorry. Mom's voice was tired but gentle. Sorry is the start, not the fix. That afternoon, we drove from store to store. Tiffany's apologies grew quieter each time she faced another cashier. Some returns worked, others didn't. By dusk, we'd recovered barely a fraction of the money. At home, she placed the gold watch, the last symbol of her spree, on the counter. They wouldn't take it back, she said softly. I'll sell it. Dad nodded. Good. Then tomorrow you'll find a job. She hesitated, searching my face. You're not going to help me, are you? I met her eyes. I already did. You just didn't see it. That night, she slipped a note under my door. I know you're angry. You should be. But I'll make it right. Inside was $60, her first repayment from selling concert tickets. I stared at it for a long time, the kind of quiet anger that is burned down to truth. For once, I didn't feel like the fixer. I felt like the witness. Down the hall, I heard her crying raw real. And for the first time, I didn't go to comfort her. I let the silence do what words never could. Because this wasn't cruelty. It was the only way she'd ever learn what love without rescue really looked like. 4 weeks later, the house sounded different. No slammed doors, no late-night whispers about missing tuition, just the whir of the coffee maker at 5 a.m. and Tiffany's footsteps heading out before sunrise. She'd landed a job at a cafe downtown, the kind of place where every order was scribbled on paper cups and tips were earned one smile at a time. The first night she came home with her uniform smelling like espresso and sugar syrup, she didn't complain. She dropped $62 in tips onto the kitchen counter and said, It's not much, but it's honest. Dad nodded. Mom just smiled, weakly, proud, and broken at the same time. Every Saturday, Tiffany handed me an envelope with whatever she could manage, sometimes 100, sometimes less. I didn't count it in front of her. I just thanked her and wrote the total on a note pinned to the fridge. The number grew slowly, but it grew. We started family therapy in late October. Dr. Lambert's office smelled like peppermint tea and old carpet. At first, everyone sat on opposite sides of the room, but week by week, words started finding their way across the space. Mom admitted she'd mistaken protecting Tiffany for loving her. Dad confessed he'd leaned on me too much to keep the family steady. And I admitted I liked being the fixer because it made me feel useful until it didn't. Tiffany didn't say much that first month. She mostly listened. But one day she said quietly, I never learned how to be sorry without expecting someone to rescue me. It silenced the room. Even Dr. Lambert just nodded, letting the truth hang there until it felt solid. By December, Tiffany had repaid nearly $6,000. The rest would take time, but she was steady. She'd applied for readmission to the university for the spring semester, this time with her own budget plan and a part-time work schedule. One evening, she left a note under my door. Simple handwriting, no perfume, no hearts. Thank you for letting me fall. You made me stand up. I stared at it for a long time. It wasn't revenge, it was restoration. And somehow, that felt better than winning. By spring, the rhythm in our family finally felt clean. Tiffany's mornings belonged to the cafe, her afternoons to classes she'd paid for herself. Mom stopped hovering, Dad laughed again, and I finally stopped waiting for the next disaster. On a Sunday night in March, she handed me one last envelope, her biggest repayment yet, and a small gift bag. Inside was a framed photo of us as kids, muddy and grinning arms around each other. The note beneath it read, "Thank you for not saving me. You taught me how to save myself." I placed it on my desk beside the old floorboard I'd kept as a reminder, not of loss, but of the boundary that changed everything. Sometimes love isn't the hand that catches you. It's the silence that lets you fall just far enough to learn how to climb. If you've ever had to make that hard choice, help, or let go, tell me in the comments. Hit like if you believe in tough love that heals instead of hurts, and subscribe for more true family stories that remind us what real change looks like.